What's good, everybody? So today I'm bringing you a different style of video. As you can see on my screen right here, we got a tier list. And today, as the professional, I'm an expert in the medical field. So let me just list out the criteria of what we're rating these addictions on. So we're rating these addictions based on these tiers. One, does it break the bank? Like, how economical is it to be on these addictions? Two, like, what are the side effects to these addictions? Like, whether it's overrated or underrated. Three, does it affect other people as well? And four, if you told somebody like you had this addiction, how would they react? So we're basing off these four criterias, and let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. So we have it all down here, all our candidates and all that. And I'm not gonna be covering every single addiction because there's just no way I'm fucking doing that shit. And for all you druggies out there, who say, oh, what about this? Why aren't you covering this specific drug 2CB or some shit like that? If you unironically know what that is, like, you low key a druggie, bruh. Let's just start off with some light shopping addiction. Now, shopping addiction, like, it breaks the bank, obviously, because you're spending a lot of shit. That's kind of lame if you ask me. Like, could you imagine, like, you hit your friend up, oh, bruh, I got an addiction, like a severe addiction. Like, this is, like, life threatening. And they ask you, oh, what, like, you addicted, like, crack or something? Like, nah, I have a shopping addiction. Like, bro, that's fucking gay. Like me personally, I'd be too self conscious watching like the number in my fucking bank account in my e-wallet or my like physical cash that I carry. I'd be too self conscious watching that shit go down. I don't think I can handle it. D tier if you ask me. Next up, adrenaline. Adrenaline, I mean, that's pretty overrated. Adrenaline junkies. I mean, just watch like a horror movie or something. Go play a game. Like, oh bro, okay, you skydive off a plane. And what? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's pretty cool. Like, could you imagine telling someone, I'm an adrenaline junkie? These people, why is it 360 security? Like, these people, 100% got to be, like, coked up on Red Bull or some shit. In their fridge is just stacks of Red Bull and Monster Energy. That's it. They don't, they eat cereal with Red Bull. And they all, like, unironically look like 80s rock stars with just extremely wild hairstyles. It's pretty mid addiction if you ask me. I mean, adrenaline addiction, you don't really get much of that nowadays. I can't remember the last time someone told me that they're addicted to adrenaline. It don't even cost that much money. Like, just go to some abandoned spot in Vietnam. You know what I mean? You scam the hell out of the like workers there because of the currency conversion, and you basically got it. B tier if you ask me. Caffeine addiction. Now, caffeine addiction is overrated as fuck. Like, this shit is what 40-year-old depressed single moms are addicted to, caffeine addiction. It's those people who tweak out whenever they don't get their fucking latte, their soy latte in the morning. Oh, they start shaking and shit, and they start like having like a crackhead meltdown. Like, caffeine addiction is lame as hell, bruh. D tier. Next, sugar. Pretty solid. You're not really harming anybody. I mean, who doesn't like a good dessert? You know what I mean? Like, you can always share and shit. Like, and you know, it's not that bad. I think it's a pretty solid one to get hooked to because it tastes good, and you're not really harming anybody. I'm about to skim through some of these because they don't really matter. This junk food, it's pretty much the same shit, to be honest. Social media addiction. Social media addiction is, I mean, it's pretty excusable because everybody who isn't addicted to like social media and phone these days. I mean, it gets annoying when you're on like public transport and then they don't move because one time I was getting on the train and this lady was walking to the train door. Like, legit stood half and half on the train, one foot on train, one foot off train, just looking at the phone. Like, dead ass. If somebody didn't pull her in the train, I would have witnessed a Mortal Kombat fatality of her just getting crushed by the train doors. So, C tier. Because we get pretty sick clips out of it. Like, you can't tell me that, you go on Instagram right now. If you're a dude, right? You go on Instagram right now, there's gonna be some blurry ass clip of some dude somewhere like in India or some shit, or in like some fucking random ass country, like, or maybe in China or something like that. Some dude with a phone or scrolling on Douyin. They walk past the street without knowing to get absolutely demolished by a bus. That's where it all stems from. C tier addiction, to be honest. Next, the fuck is that? Oh, is that like cutting yourself? Nah, that's gay as hell, bro. Like, could you? That's lame as hell. That's worse than shopping addiction. I don't need to explain why. Like, life is hard as it is. Like, if you gotta make it harder for yourself by having fucking barcode on your wrist, for easy access scanning e-wallet, sure. I mean, it's pretty whack if you ask me. Next, lean. Lean is kind of like, overrated rapper alcohol. People say, oh, lean is good. Like, look at Yeet, bro. This dude whole personality is lean. This dude eat, drink, sleep, breathe lean. And this dude brain slow as fuck. So like lean, honestly, C tier. Not D tier. Above caffeine. Next, gaming addiction. If you're still addicted to gaming, now I was a gaming addict, right? But if you addicted to gaming, especially like Genshin Impact, like you might as well watch fucking child porn, bro. Like allegedly. C tier. Next. Okay, now we're getting to the real territory here. Okay, what do I want to rank? What do I want to rank? Okay, smoking, cigarettes. Okay, nicotine addiction. Now, nicotine addiction. I'm pretty like I'm on the fence about it. Not because I'm a smoker and all that. I don't use nicotine products. I ain't like that. Okay, shut the fuck up. Now, this is the thing. Smoking and vaping. They're two very different things. Now, which is more annoying? Smoking is more annoying because now, okay, both smoking and vaping have their ups and downs. The good thing about smoking is they only do it in a designated area, or they do it in spots where not. It's just outside. You'll never see a dude smoking inside unless it's their house or like their kitchen or something. Same shit. Very rarely you'll see a guy smoke indoors unless it's some fucking 80-year-old like cokehead who doesn't know where he's at. Vaping is kind of more gay compared to smoking. Here's why. Because it's always the few people that vape in like an elevator or some shit like that. And sometimes because I have a neighbor that vapes and that shit's strong as hell, but they're still like two like blocks, like not 2 blocks, 2 houses away from me. I can smell that shit because the house connected. But the thing is, right? I'm pretty sure vapes were people who vape are just smoking addicts that can't control themselves. Even worse, and that's crazy to say because smoking addicts, right? All people who smoke, they do it in one go. People who vape, because that shit's so instant, right? They just do it anywhere. Like I know dudes who like fucking vape in class. Like unironically, they start shaking when they need to take a hit. With all that being said, I don't know where to put this. C tier, high C tier. Yeah. Next, porn addiction. Porn addiction is like the most common ass addiction around. Like, and you're not really doing anything. It's not really breaking the bank or anything. But like, if you told someone you had a porn addiction, like that ass, they might like stay away from you because they might think you might touch them or some shit. Like I know a dude with a porn addiction. Like unironically, this dude addicted to porn. Like you go through his Twitter, full of fucking like underaged looking anime girls. Yeah, it's that type of addiction. I'm convinced everybody watches porn now. Like, and that's kind of crazy to say, but it's low key true. But like, more people would proudly admit to be like a coke addict than a porn addict. So you know what? This this and gaming is pretty much the same shit. Like it's in the middle. It's around there. But I mean, with porn, you kind of just ruin social interactions. But yeah. Next, psychedelics. I mean, oh, could you imagine psychedelics and like fucking skydiving? That shit would be crazy. I think I'll put that B tier. It's pretty solid. It seems fun. It calms people down. Doesn't seem that bad. Next, sex addiction. This is a real thing. I mean, I don't know where to put this. I guess just like here, or I don't know here. Cocaine. Now, me, I've never used cocaine before, but I know people who have allegedly. Allegedly, they're huge fans of Coca Cola, and they're like chill people. But that's the thing. That's just one dude who's addicted to Coca Cola, like, and I know a lot of the stereotypes of like a coke addict. It's like this dude who is just straight up tweaking, like homeless dude in Houston or some shit. It's a pretty stereotypical drug if you think about it, because when people talk about drug addiction, the first thing you imagine as a child is this or some random ass pill or syringes which you just draw on your anti-drug awareness day poster. You don't even know what it is, but you just see it everywhere. It's like that white powder. Like when you start reaching the sixth grade, everybody starts talking about white powder or flour, like sugar. Oh, I love flour, or like I love that white powder. And everybody just laughs, but they don't actually know what the fuck it does or like what it is. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it really depends on the user. Me personally, you know what I mean. I know that shit can get pretty expensive at times. However, it is pretty inconvenient if you really think about it because you gotta fucking like put it on your table. It's like that. It's like powder and shit on the table. You gotta fucking cut it up, snort it, and then there's residue all over the table. You gotta clean it, but you don't want to waste it at the same time. It's pretty inconvenient if you ask me. And you just have a brick of it in your car. Like it's just not hard. It's not easy to hide. It's B tier, low B tier. Next, antidepressants. Let's go hand in hand. Like, could you imagine needing a drug to be happy? People who like take antidepressants just want to be noticed, bro. Next, alcohol addiction. Low key, this shit might be S tier because hear me out. Okay, hear me out. You pull up. Okay, you celebrate with your friends. What do? You drink. You get sad. What do? You drink. You meet up Chinese New Year, long ass reunion. What do? You drink. And the stat shows like 20-30% of accidents happen from drunk driving. That means 70 to 80% happen sober driving. So if you really do the math, right, you got a higher chance like getting home safe drunk driving. Well, compared to sober, obviously. Allegedly, drink responsibly, bro. Someone about to like actually take this shit seriously. I'm about to be like fucked over. I'm done talking about alcohol, bro. Next, gambling addiction. Gambling addiction S tier. Now hear me out. A lot of these you break the bank with it. You know, maybe a few like maybe porn addiction, cutting yourself is pretty free if you ask me. Uh, you know, that's really about it. These two are the only free, really free addictions, and they're not really free either because you got to buy the fucking sharp ass blade to cut. But like gambling addiction, this is probably the only addiction where you can actually win something out of something. Like with all these other shits, you take it, you feel happy, right? But you don't really get anything back with gambling, right? Hear me out. You put something in, you can get something back, and it's not like you feel happy or some shit. Yeah, you feel happy, but that's just a bonus because you get cash in return. Like that's low key a charitable service if you ask me. Next, opioids. Opioids, that's for like crackheads, you know what I mean? That's like overrated as hell. It's like a C tier. It's like above smoking. Yeah, weed. Weed low key S tier. Because think about it, okay? I put it above alcohol because weed isn't a violent drug. Like alcohol makes you want to throw hands. Weed calms you down. Like if I say weed, who do you think of? Snoop Dogg, Chief Keef. Now these dudes may be thugs, you know. These dudes may be hooligans, you know, back in the days. But now, bruh, they wouldn't hurt a fly, man. Just because they see multiple flies, they don't know which one to hit. Like I feel like marijuana is one of those drugs where it's like it not only calms you down, it's actually like pretty beneficial if you ask me. Not because I'm a weed head or anything, but listen, I'm pretty sure marijuana is like prescribed to people who have like bad appetite, especially people who have undergone chemotherapy, just because it makes food taste so much better. Not speaking from personal experience, by the way. Like it's literally on Google. Like to me, it's one of those drugs where it's like if I had to like fight a case, which one had to be legalized, I'd probably go for weed. And I know a lot of like places in the world have weed legal, like marijuana legalized, especially in Thailand. Like, bro, they infuse that shit in your like pad thai. So yeah, this is my final entry. This is the final tier list for the addiction tier list. Huh? This is undisputed facts with the reasoning. This is the 2024 addiction tier list, which I will update every year, or maybe by the end of this year. Like maybe like like weed gets what the fuck is this? Weed gets legalized in my country, and then I'll try it out, right? And I'll fucking tell you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the addiction tier list. So if you were wondering, oh, what should I be addicted to? Use this tier list to help you out. You know, S to D tier, everything is pretty much sorted for you already. You know, subscribe, like, all of that shit. Thanks for watching. You already know how it is. Yeah.
I'm a fucking homosexual. What?